In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to win more triple threat online games in NBA 2K23 My Team in Season 5 for the new Galaxy Opal Bantom, because if you guys don't know, he looks to be one of the new best small forwards in My Team and definitely the new best reward card to be grinding for in Season 5. So I know a lot of you guys want to be grinding T2 online to try to get as many wins as possible. He is also in Unlimited in the Vault, and then I believe he's also in the Clutch Time online wheel spin board, like the wheel spin after every single win you get. So you do have a chance to get him from 2 different vaults, but the only way to guarantee get this card, not really guarantee because I guess it is RNG, but the only way he's actually on boards is going to be in T2 online. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to win as many games as possible and just overall how to get better at T2 online. Now it is a lot about what players you do run and kind of what game style and what play style you want to go with T2, like what play style you want to go into T2 online with. For me, I go for a lot of offense. You can see my lineup is Russell Westbrook, Ray Allen, and Tim Thomas. Barely any defense between these 3 cards, but we're going to score the ball and get up a lot of threes. That's for me how I play T2 online. You can see my record. It's not crazy good, but I think I have somewhat of an idea of how to win T2 online games, and I just went through 2 boards and didn't lose a single game. So you can't see, but I just did 2 boards and didn't lose a single game trying to grind for this Mike Bantom card. But there's a couple different lineups you guys want to run, or at least types of lineups that you guys can run. So if you want to go for probably a better lineup than this just works for me personally. I'd probably go for Ray Allen kind of as your main ball handler. I wouldn't really run Russ because you already have Ray to kind of do the ball handling. You want to use like a center. Now, I don't really have any great centers on my exact team, but if you want to go for a guy like Galaxy Opal, he could be a really good option as well because he gives you that height, he can shoot threes, and overall is not a terrible defender, but mainly just gives you that height. So this could be another lineup you could run. If you want to use a little bit more size, you could go Ray Allen, Tim Thomas, and Yee. Obviously, if you guys have like the top cards in the game, you want to be using like the T-Max, the D-Robs. If you have like these top cards like the Dark Matter LeBron, Dark Matter Giannis, I'm saying to use those cards if you guys can, but for a lineup that more people probably would run is like if they have Galaxy Opal Ray and they have Galaxy Opal Yee, and then you can maybe also go for another like maybe lockdown card. I'm not exactly sure who you'd want to run here, but I think Tim Thomas is probably the best answer. So for me, I'll run Russell Westbrook, but like I said, you guys can definitely go with a little bit bigger of a lineup. You just want to make sure you have 3 players that can score the ball. You don't want anybody on the court that can't shoot. You don't want like an inside big. So for example, I don't think I really even have any inside bigs, but you don't really want to run like a Drummond. You don't really want to run like a just a center that can't shoot like a Bogut or Jericho Sims or Kareem. You don't want to run these type of centers. You want to run a guy that can space the floor and obviously shoot threes. But let's hop into a T2 online game and show you guys how to win them as fast as possible and as easy as possible as well. So as you guys can see, my opponent actually does have a really good squad. He's got Seti Osman, he's got KG and Andrew Wiggins as well. So it should be a tough test with obviously the lineup I do run because we're going to be a little bit undersized. But what you guys mainly want to do is on offense, just try to chuck up as many threes as possible. I know it might be a little bit hard at first to learn how to 3 hunt, but when I tell you guys, you want to be using up as much of that shot clock to get a 3. Like if you can get a wide open 3, that is obviously the goal for every single possession. We're going to miss there on the first possession, but I'm just telling you guys right now, that is what you want to focus on, is just 3 hunting and getting up a lot of threes, because you want to just be able to outshoot your opponent and just outscore them from the 3-point line. And then on defense, it's kind of like the exact opposite. You want to make sure they're not shooting threes and let them go to the rim. Now, I'm not saying to give wide open dunks, but just kind of play defense where you're guarding the 3-point line and making sure your opponent's not getting up threes. Because if you get a 3 every single possession and your opponent's only scoring 2s, after like 3 or 4 shots, you're going to have like a 3 to 4 point lead and overall should be able to win the game. So what I do is try to play amazing defense on the 3-point line, but if your opponent wants to green from half court, if your opponent wants to agree with Seti Osman, basically from half court, then nothing you can really do there. But offensively, you want to use a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of pick and pops, and just be able to find yourself at that 3-point line. Like I said, that's why personally I like to run 3 guys that can all space the floor and can pretty much all score at will. Like if you look at my lineup, for example, we're giving up so many threes, but you can see my lineup, right? We got Russ, Tim Thomas, and Ray Allen. Everybody can score. Like I said on the defensive end, I know I've given up 2 threes, but my opponent honestly just green good shots, but you just want to limit the threes. Like that's a 2 I'm okay with, even if he made that. You just want to play solid defense and just make sure they're not knocking down threes. Then on offense, main thing I would say to do is really just be patient. I feel like a lot of people try to rush their offense a little bit too much in T2 online. They're trying to attack the rim and go for dunks. You just want to focus on getting as many threes up as possible. So if you have a wide open dunk, but there's still 20 seconds left in the shot clock, I would honestly try to go back out for a 3. Now, if it's a close game and it's maybe like a 2-point game, then take the dunk. But if it's early in the ball game, like you'll see, I'm going to try to score every single point on a three-pointer because I don't really care about dunks, because as long as my opponent is only making threes, and he's going to miss shot, or only making twos, I should say, and we know he's going to miss shots like layups and dunks, he's not going to be able to make everything. But on the offensive end, I'm just going to try to green as many shots as possible, and I feel like that's honestly the best method to be winning T2 online games. Now, to score three-pointers, there's like a lot of different things you guys can do. What I like to do is pick and pops, basically just have my guy pop to the three-point line instead of rolling to the basket. You can also try to just ISO the guy and basically take him off the dribble, but honestly, running in transition is a great way to score as well. As you guys can see, we're up 15-6, and honestly, my opponent's pretty good with a very good squad, and he's only made those 2 threes because I'm really limiting him from shooting those threes. Like, I'll jump here so he can't get the 3. He could have maybe took me off the dribble, but I honestly don't care. But yeah, a great way to get threes up is definitely getting stops and then running in transition. I do think getting up threes really has to do with getting defensive stops. If you're getting stops, you're gonna be able to run out in transition. Just make sure you're pushing the ball and getting up the court as fast as possible, and then look to kick to the corner. So really, guys, it's honestly very simple. Like, it's a very simple method, you could say, to be winning T2 online games. It's just make sure your opponents aren't scoring threes. Try to limit them to as many points as possible, right? Try to play good defense, but mainly focus on not letting them get up threes. If they're going to score twos and get wide open dunks, that's better than leaving open a wide open 3. And then on the offensive end, it's like the opposite. You want to be chucking up threes and getting up as many shots as possible. You don't really want to be taking dunks. I mean, you guys just saw I scored 18 points, and I think I might have missed a couple threes, but I scored every single point off a three-pointer, and that's why I was up by 12, 13 points, whatever it's up by. It's because I was just chucking up threes compared to where my opponent, he didn't really score the ball too much because I was making sure he wasn't making any threes. So honestly, guys, I know it might seem a little bit simple. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comment section down below, but that's pretty much it, to be honest. Run in transition, look for corners, look for the wings when you're running in transition, push the ball on offense. Call a lot of pick and rolls, pick and pops, use the normal leaner if you have guys like Ray Allen. Like, once again, when it comes down to the lineup screen, make sure you have guys like that have the normal leaner that can knock down threes, that can 3-hunt really well. At least that's for my play style. I know a lot of people might do flip side of things where they go for like all defense and they're running a whole defensive lineup. For me, I like to run offense. So just kind of find what type of lineup you want to run, whether it's all defense, all offense, a bit of both, whether you want to run bigs, guards. Like, I would make sure you have at least one guy that can guard the center. If I match up against a Yao Ming or a D-Rob or a big center, I'm most likely screwed with having Tim Thomas at my center position, but as my forward. But we're gonna be able to score the ball more times than my opponent probably can if he's got a guy like Yao Ming. I actually versed a guy with Yao Ming, and he was scoring twos every time, but then he had Yao Ming on my Tim Thomas, and I was scoring threes with Tim Thomas every single time. But also make sure to be patient on the offensive end. That's something I forgot to keep telling you guys, is be patient. Don't just score the ball in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock. I mean, like, don't just score a dunk or a layup. Take the ball back out, maybe pump fake and then run the ball back out. Your opponent might try to help down on the dunk, and then you'll get a wide open 3. So just make sure you guys looking for threes and be really patient on the offensive end. But hopefully this video did help you guys out, and if it did, make sure to drop a like and sub down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.